I was diagnosed with hemophilia at birth. I had surgery in '86, some minor surgery, and the hospital we went to, they just went ahead and did HIV test and hepatitis test, and all that came out. I was around 7 years old, so it really didn't hit me, like it would hit an adult, as something new. It was just, part of life since I can remember, really.
Dealing with the HIV and the hemophilia really isn't any different than a normal everyday life. I set up his medications. I make sure that he gets to his doctor's appointments. But we still carry life normal.
And she does my injections for me, for the hemophilia. My youngest daughter, Kyla, she always makes sure that I take my medicine. They all know.
We work as a unit.
I also have two older brothers who were also diagnosed with hemophilia at birth. My oldest brother, Ricky, he was the first one diagnosed. And then my other brother, Robert. It's just, I guess, luck of the draw. And our luck wasn't very good, We pulled all three of us having it. I was diagnosed with HIV first, so being I came back positive, they knew I had two brothers also. So they went ahead and tested our whole family. My mom came back fine. My dad came back fine. My sister, she was fine. But my other two brothers, they came back. They were diagnosed, positive with HIV and hepatitis also. We had to be very careful that we didn't, get hurt just because we had to go have an injection of factor. When I was real young, it didn't affect me too much. But as I got older, started school, probably around third grade is when, the hemophilia really affected me most, was when all the kids were starting to play sports. I wanted to play football just like everybody else. And, hemophiliac, that's no way, no how, Now that I'm getting older, it's making me feel like I'm older than I am. Because hemophiliacs have joint bleeds, which the best way to describe that is like if you sprain your ankle or, you sprain your knee, how it feels. It feels about the same way, but it'll swell up real big. And you got to have injections to stop the internal bleeding around it. The older I get, the more joint bleeds I'm having. I know that AIDS was something that affected us when I got out of the hospital and went home. Everything was just different, The church we went to didn't really want us to come there. They were scared about it. Everybody in our town that we lived in were also scared. The biggest thing was when they said you can't go to school at all. And then we had no friends at all. All we had was each other. So that right there, that hurt a lot, being a kid not understanding, what I do wrong. I didn't do nothing wrong. Why do people not want to be around me? We had death threats as we were going through a lawsuit with the school board to fight through the court system for us to be able to go back to school. Because they were no way, no how going to let us back. So we went through the whole court system. We passed. They went on our side that, we were no cause, no threat to anybody. I think it was like 2 weeks after we started going back to school. Our house was arson. Someone set it on fire. I'm not sure who it was. They never found nobody. And, I cried over a stuffed animal, to be honest. That's all I knew. I didn't have my stuffed animal. I didn't have clothes. I didn't have nothing anymore. The only thing we had was what we had on. Luckily, I said no one in my family's ever got hurt because of it, but we had death threats when both of my brothers were in the hospital dying. I didn't understand why people would want to kill us. We're kids, We're not adults. We didn't ask for anything. We didn't do nothing, to deserve, having AIDS or HIV. Out of us, Ricky, he was the oldest one. He passed in '92. He was the first one to go. When he passed, that right there was like a big thing. I never really looked at us dying of AIDS, you know what I mean? He fought and fought and fought, and he told my mom, I'm going home, 3 days. She's like, well, you are home. He's like, no, I'm going home in 3 days. And then he tell you, I'm going home tomorrow, all the way up to the time where he died. Like he said he was going home. And I think Ricky handled it the best out of all of us. He did the most education of any of us. And he said that he was put here for a reason, and he took it upon that would be his reason, was to educate about AIDS. Robert passed away in 2000. He was more healthy. I mean, his was kind of a shock thing because he was doing fine. His spleen had started having problems and ended up rupturing or whatever. He ended up inhaling some of the blood got into his lungs. So it caused pneumonia. And after that, there's just one thing after another. I never thought I would live to be an adult. Then I never thought I'd live to be married or be a dad. I just gonna keep going, to keep taking medicine. And my health is doing great. My viral load's undetectable, you know what I mean? I believe it's a lot of mental more than, physical or whatever. Then once you give up in your head and you start letting things get to you and you start laying around and, kind of being a drag, I think that's when everything catches up. Your brain is the answer, I guess. It's the key to everything. With the Ricky Ray Relief Fund, I mean, that was a long process. I thought it was a lot more simple than it was, and it took, hundreds of people, and it took a lot of hard work to get that to pass through. Mom and Dad, started it, we talked about it. It wasn't even for the money part, I've lost 2 brothers and hundreds of friends. You can't pay for that. The most thing about the Ricky Ray bill that I liked and enjoyed was that they did finally acknowledge it. The government acknowledged, okay, we did mess up. I say I don't hold no grudges towards the pharmaceutical companies. I hope they're doing what they're supposed to be doing nowadays. Our blood supply is a lot safer. We've had no major problems with it. But if they start messing up, then yeah, I would, look back at it. Look, y'all screwed up once. Y'all screwed up a lot of people's life. Get it right, stay with it. But no, I don't hold no grudges. I feel that today the blood supply or nothing like that would be as safe as it is without the hemophilia community and all the sacrifices and the hard work that they have put in it. And I think it's going to be safer for the rest of our lives as long as, everybody stays on top of it and don't give up on it.